Very sad news, folks, but it appears that Polteageist has been quick banned from the underused tier upon the results of the recent tiering survey that the underused tier held. A majority of the playbase has decided that the teapot needs to be thrown away. And on top of that, you're going to be suspect testing Quaquaval very soon. It is no secret that in the underused tier, Hyper Offense was dominating the ladder, with many Pokemon having talents that tilt them towards such a team archetype. However, this is still sad news indeed, as I do not believe if both of these Pokemon ever got banned that they will have any semblance of excellent success in the tier above. If you are wondering what we are talking about, folks, I recently did a video on my opinion on the tier survey that was held, so if you want to check that out and get yourself all clued up as to what is going on in the competitive Pokemon underused scene, go and give that video a watch and leave a like on that video as well. And then after that, you can head back here, all screwed up on what exactly is going down. Polteageist, yes, was a Pokemon that was more often than not all or nothing, featuring itself on many hyper-offensive structures, as an all-out attacker with Shell Smash and stored power alone carrying it to success. But recently the set that has pushed the teapot over the edge is a set known as KM Polt. I'm not so sure why it was dubbed as KM Polt, but the basic premise of this set is that you run Polteageist as a defensive emergency stopgap to prevent Rapid Spin from going off, only giving Polteageist enough speed that it can outspeed the entire tier after a Shell Smash. This is one of the most annoying sets to deal with because it ran Curse Body, and as you all know, Curse Body tends to activate more often than not. If you just so happen to be unfortunate enough to have your super effective hit disabled due to the Curse Body, and your strength sapped, and you had to sit and watch as a Polteageist healed up to 100%, where your check or idea flopped in your face, Polteageist could run away with the entire game at that point. Of course, there were dedicated answers to it, but as discussed, KM Polt, and any Polteageist for that matter, is carried on the back of stored power and one coverage move. Some people even transformed KM Polt into a all or nothing Pokemon as well, despite its defensive nature, by giving it Terra Blast and Terra Fighting. This was to ensure that Dark types had to think twice if they wanted to make themselves the answer to the stored power. For Polteageist, I can kind of see why the majority of the player base wanted it gone. In Quaquaval, we are probably going to be having that suspect test, and based on the community's decision, it wasn't voted on that much lower than Polteageist, so it seems the majority of the community is feeling that this thing has to go as well, and this is a Pokemon I shall miss. As discussed in that previous video regarding the tiering survey, I feel like it is a necessary evil, Pokemon that is perfect for the newcomers to the tier and for noobs who do not understand underused or competitive Pokemon in any capacity. This Pokemon has it all. Easy setup with Swords, decent defensive typing and decent bulk, surprisingly with its high HP stat, good coverage moves, and an attacking stab that guarantees to raise your speed, and the Moxie ability, causing you to snowball out of control should you come in and claim a Aqua Step KO. What's not to love? Yes, very good players can position themselves into a decent spot where Quaquaval can be one Swords Dance away from winning the game, but isn't that the case for every single Pokemon out there? Quaquaval was also a Pokemon that found itself on a hyper-offensive archetype, but it had its defensive days where it went with bulky with Rocky Helmet and Roost and Rapid Spin as well, so it wasn't an all-out offensive machine, but it too looks like it is heading towards the desolate land of UUBL. What does this mean for the future of the underused tier? I want to show you folks two Pokemon that are going to get so much better, and then I'll discuss my thoughts on the tier now that Polteageist is officially banned. If Quaquaval was to go, fire types are going to have a field day. Hisui and Arcanine, and its hit smashing and flare blitzing antics is going to be even more difficult to switch into. Although Quaquaval wasn't always bulky, it at least was an emergency stopgap on hyper-offensive teams to stop Hisui and Arcanine from claiming easy KOs. And everybody's defensive answer, the ultimate Stallbreaker Heatran, was easy point of entry for Quaquaval. If you ever had a position where Quaquaval was in front of Heatran, that's a free Aqua Step, and more often than not, it was very difficult to switch Heatran out into your resist and have your resist take the subsequent neutral attack coming off Quaquaval's usually adamant attack stat. So Heatran's about to have a field day. With Polteageist being out of the picture, I believe that balanced structures and even bulky offense structures will rise now that hyper offense is set to lose two of its main potential tools. If you are playing a hyper offensive team structure, the KM Polt set was your way of blocking Rapid Spin, and there are not that many hyper-offensive minded ghosts in the unused tier that can keep hazards off the field as easily as Polteageist did, so as it's become less of a thoughtless click, as removing them is going to become a lot easier. The only ghost type that's potentially viable in this tier is Sinister, and that is not some hyper-aggressive, offensive, snowballing Pokemon. And Sinister itself will get better now that its ghost type competition is no longer welcome in the tier. Of course, we didn't mention everything that could and would possibly happen here in this video, but we're going to call it at that, folks. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this recent developments in the tier. Another ban, and another ban incoming as well. Haven't we had enough? Did you think these Pokemon were broken in any capacity in the unused tier? Or do you think this is an over-exaggeration and an overreaction from the player base in general? Are people really, truly lazy to adapt, to think, to plan for? Do people just want to see the same old Pokemon over and over and over? Those that are not that broken, but are not that innovative and not that interesting? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you did enjoy this video and learned something, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as we shall be doing a lot more of these. But until next time, folks, we shall be U-turning out. Thanks for watching.